Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to the very best podcast. I'm Jesus, and as always, I am so glad that you're here today. Honestly, I really enjoyed having you around. Whether you're listening or you're watching, you're in for a treat. Today, we got an episode that is super relevant to anyone around the world. It's something to touches all of us, whether you realize it or not, and it's the media that we consume. Yeah, that vast universe that we're all swimming around. But today we're not going to swim. We're actually going to learn how you can navigate these waters mindfully and protecting your mental health, and most important thing, maintaining a very good well-being while you do so. And listen, I know it's a bit ironic since you're probably watching this on a social media right now, yeah? But that's the beauty of it. We're using this platform to talk about how to use it for better. So let's dive in. Listen, you probably know myself a little bit now, and for over a decade, I've thrived into the marketing world, particularly everything when the social media shifted. I mean, I'm a millennial, and I was right at the very first beginning of the social media. And I remember I was in uni when MySpace was a thing, and I loved it. I remember I had thousands of friends, and it was amazing to customize the background of the page and share music. I mean, those were days. And social media for me always was about connecting to people. It was about people. It was about finding users, getting in touch, share stuff, and I always been mindful on what I was sharing because I knew that everybody could see it. And I mean, we all have ups and downs, isn't it, when what we share? And I remember then Facebook came along and my entire world changed. I remember, I was a club promoter back in Madrid, and honestly, I think I maxed out twice the friend requests. I had 2 profiles. So it became a social hub for me. I was very able to promote events, get people on the guest list. It was very good. So no matter what the platform was, Facebook and Twitter or Instagram, my goal was always the same. It was to share authentically and to connect with people. I remember when Instagram came along, it was like a game changing for me. I remember especially when I moved to London back in 2016, because London has this rich and diverse, unique scene that all of a sudden I was to start to get into all those events and all those restaurants, and my profile exploded with followers, honestly. And I started to work with a lot of brands. I mean, Mercedes, L'Oreal, Amazon. Honestly, I remember I was one of the first one to put a hashtag ad. I mean, how cool is that? But it's been a minute since. But more of that, the glitz of the glamour, I start to realize that all these experiences were to start to generate a niche. It was about experiences, it was about reviews, and I just love every moment of it. But same as my profile grew, as well as the pressure. And I know everybody around me was saying to me, oh my God, you live in the dream. And I think in many ways I was making a lot of money. But all of a sudden, I just felt like I was just constantly going and doing things out for obligation, not because I wanted to. And I started to get exhausted. But it was in 2020 when the pandemic arrived, when everything disappeared off, when I really had time to sit down and analyze, my feelings and how I was feeling about it. Everything was gone, all the travel, all the restaurants, all of a sudden I was just missing it in there. And I was left with nothing but my thoughts. What a wonderful thing. But you know what? That time alone really made me confront to something that I've been ignoring for a very long time. And that's all this stress that it was building up over the years. And when the pandemic was out, I was just trying to get back into my influencer job, to be honest. But I felt hollow. The enthusiasm, it was just gone. And even this even this luxury dining started to feel awful. And I was really faking all those emotions. I can tell you by my heart, But you know what? The worst part is, it started to affect my health. I started to develop an eating disorder with time, and I was just fasting before all these press dinners. And as soon as I arrived in there, I was overeating and drinking. And as soon as I go home, I was just getting sick. And I keep posting anyway. Oh my God, this was amazing. I have the best time. And it started to feel like a fraud. And I remember one day I got really sick, and I told to the doctor, and he said to me, "Yeah, I think you should start to talk to someone, It turned to a point that all this dining was just making me sick. And I remember when I went to India, and one of the teachers said something that really stuck to me. And it says, I remember, food is the primary source that we have. And we have to be really careful, when the source comes in. And I remember he said, what happened, if someone is eating out every day? And that really makes me realize that the imbalance that I have in my life wasn't really about the food. It was about what I was consuming in every way, digitally, mentally, on my food. Now, don't get me wrong, listen, I still going out for food with my friends, and I still well connected and still doing content of restaurants. However, I do it because I want to, not because I have to. And that is what exactly social media should be. It's a place that you should become authentic for authentic expression, not a place to pressure yourself or stress in any source. And it is very easy to get lost into the digital noise. And I see all this because we all see this perfectly created life on life, and sometimes we feel like we have to measure from it. But the true happiness, and let me tell you by accord, the true happiness of success doesn't really come from these highlights on the reel. It comes from within. And once you shift from focus on your external visions, and that's kind of happened to me, I shift from those external experiences, and it's time to find those internal experiences, and I start to care about what I'm putting out there in a very authentic and genuine way. And honestly, social media, which is started a tool to connect us, has begun to disconnect us from each other and kind of start to disconnect you with yourself. And one thing that I found that works very well and really works is being offline. And I talked about that really openly with my community. And it is a wonderful thing to do, is to start to introduce a small digital detox into your life. Because remember that stress that I had a few years ago. I mean, I was in my late 20s. Imagine how it would be being a teenager and being instead of that pressure. I was in my 20s. I can't imagine how hard must feel, of a teenager today. What is constantly bombarded by content. And again, you're still figuring out who you are. So you're always going to start to compare yourself with others online. And again, it's not real what you see online. So here's my advice. Start to introduce small digital detox into your life. And honestly, all you have to do is just swap a smartphone for one of those dumb phones, a feature phone. And start to use your smartphone like a laptop. You leave it behind. When you're at home, you can use it. Of course, be mindful of your screen time, because obviously, what you don't want is just go around with the phone, and as soon as you go home, you start to scroll again for hours, but you have to understand that we're constantly looking at our phone, searching for the next notification, searching for the next distraction, searching for someone else. Honestly, this content today is extremely addicted. And remember, addiction is not healthy for nothing. So the best way to address is, again, it's just taking a small breaks and start to move mindfully on a better way to use the technology. And as I said, start to slowly introducing a digital detox and slowly getting used to a different type of mobile. One that serves to call, to text message, and to play a snake. And a good friend of mine often says, habits shapes us, because it's true. It's easy to develop habits, especially, with something that is just always on your hand, like your phone. But what happens when the phone is not around? We miss it. No, we don't. It happens because you've trained yourself to be attached to it. But you're going to realize that as soon as you don't have the phone in your hand, there is a wonderful world around you that you can start to engage with. So trust me, switch off on social media from time to time and start to take regular breaks of it. And pay attention to the world around you, not just only the one that you have on your phone. Your phone is Your phone is there to receive call, to text people, to let them know that you are available, and then you ring. And again, you can still in one of those phones put music or an audiobook, or they have some kind of entertainment, but you must start to take and disconnect with the digital work and start to develop better habits and slowly start to be more mindful every day on how do you use your phone. For example, like a little ritual that you do in the morning, to start your day with a specific meditation or journaling. Just honestly, start to pursue a hobby. Start to do things that you don't normally do. Step out of your comfort zone. Found something else to do. Connect with nature. I mean, that's the most wonderful thing that you can do. Whether it is a walk in the park or like hiking in the mountain. We all come from Mother Earth. There is so many messages we receive once we are out there. And that's where the real connection it is. It is reconnecting with Earth, with Mother Nature. That's when we come to our true form. I always find power in nature, honestly. The air we breathe is where I really come back to myself. So honestly, get yourself a simple phone and go outside and enjoy yourself. Because that's what everything you need to survive. Calls, text, and again, maybe music if you like to. But you can live without endless notification, without TikTok and any distractions. These phones are exactly what you need to be connected to the world and allows you to live your life to the fullest. So just remember, social media platforms are very powerful tools and they can shape you and in a wrong way if you are allowed to and if you are not careful. And remember, not everything that you see is real. All what you see in people, it is like a snap of their life and it's very easy to start to compare yourself to others. And all that might bring you, is just to feel unwell and sometimes to be more narcissistic than you should. So, don't believe it. It's not true. Use it in a good way. Use it as a source of inspiration. Use it as a source of research, of learning. Trust me, listen, I've traveled the world. I've stayed in 5-star hotel. I eat on the best restaurants you can even imagine. And I take the bus to go home. But what you see online is not me coming back in the bus. Don't you see? The real person is the one is behind the phone, not the one that you put on Instagram. So look within yourself and try to find that. So look within yourself and not on your feed. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on yourself. Because when you start liking the person that you see in the mirror, you start to have a clear vision of who you are about and how you want to achieve it. And that's where the true magic really begins. And listen, it took me some time to find it, but once you do, everything change. And it can work for you as well. And please, let's not demonize social media, okay? Because after all, you probably listen to this on a social media platform. It can be a wonderful place, honestly. It can be an incredible tool if you know how to use it right. You know what I do? I train the algorithms very well, honestly. I make sure they show me the content that I want to watch, the content that uplift me, that inspire me. I make sure I follow only the accounts that promote positivity, that help me with my growth and to bring the best of myself. That's why it's very important to use social media as a source of learning, of connection, not comparison. I've trained my social media to show me the content that benefits, that a video that entertains me in a very good way. I love to follow other creators and I enjoy their blogs just because I get inspired from it, not just because I be with them. Or I don't want to be like them. I use, for example, platforms like Facebook, to stay connected with my friends. I run tons of groups of creative people. And not just that, my Patreon, it is on my heart. And it is social media as well. But I use it as a source of connection. As I started talking earlier on, that's what I used to use social media. Well, that's what social media was always for me, a way to connect in people. when you start to cultivate this environment, you make social media work for you and not against you. And it's very important as well how you engage. You have to make sure you put the right energy to it. You have to make sure you give good stuff. You're genuine, and when you comment, you're positive about it. You promote and encourage growth. You're nice. Be nice. Because when you know how you do, because you do good online, good comes to you, I'm telling you. And again, social media is a powerful tool, and like any tool, you just have to know how to use it. So let it be a space for connection, for inspiration, for growth, rather than a source of comparison of a benchmark for anybody. It's not good. And if there is any key takeaway today, I just want you to remember this. Our relationship with social media should be mindful and intentional, because true happiness doesn't really come from likes, from comments, from views. The life that you see online is just only a highlight that you post. The real you is the messy one. The one is behind the moments that happen when the cameras are off. So make sure you take time to unplug, to reflect, and to reconnect what truly matters to you. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Before I wrap up, I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Honestly, it means the world to be able to share my little journey with you, and I hope my story has resonated to you somehow. And if it does, please get in touch. I love your comments and your messages. Please, if you have any questions, get in touch. The DMs are open, or feel free to reach out on my website. And make sure you check my events that I have going on, guys. If you are in London, make sure you sign up and come along. I love to meet you in person. And for those elsewhere in the world, please join my Patreon, where I run exactly the same events every 2 weeks with my online community. We have so much fun, so please come along, join us. Once again, thank you so much for being part of this incredible journey. I am so grateful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and turn the notifications bell on the YouTube channel. Take care of yourself. Let's be kind to one another, and just remember, life is best when it's lived authentically. So get above your phone. I'll see you on the next one.